Bang, bang. Welcome back, DFS fam. I am Dustin here. I'll be bringing you 3 quarterback plays for the 15th week of the NFL season. But before we get to those picks, please check us out, dfsdads.com, Facebook and Twitter, the DFS Dads. And as always here on YouTube, hit that subscribe and like button, because we put out a lot of free content every week. NFL, golf, we've got NBA starting up very soon. We have an awesome Slack community. We're very family-oriented, we're fun, and we like to make money. So come check us out. All right, so our first quarterback pick, and I'm going to kind of do a tiered approach, bottom, middle, top. That way, depending on your lineup construction, you can fit these guys in. So our first guy is going to be Mitchell Trubisky, 5,500, going up against Minnesota. So they played the Vikings a couple weeks back. And that was the last game that Foles played, so Mitch didn't get the opportunity. I feel like we're going to see a completely different game than the first time. Mitch is playing really well. Back-to-back weeks of 267 yards passing. He has 7 touchdowns the last 3 games, and he's just looked a lot more comfortable. The Bears have been running the ball a lot better, which obviously helps in the pass game. And if they hadn't had leads the past 2 games, Mitch would have thrown for over 300 yards. They've dialed it down both games the last 2 weeks. Allen Robinson went off the first half. Actually, both the last 2 weeks, and then they stopped throwing. He had 1 catch in the second half of both games, I believe. So give him a full game, a competitive game, and I really think he can shine this week. The Minnesota Vikings are not good in the secondary. They rank 25th in pass yards allowed at 200 or almost 260 yards. So bottom-tiered pass defense. And I think that confidence that Mitch has gained in the past 3 weeks is going to keep going. I mean, the Bears have been playing really good, and he's looked poised in the pocket, and he obviously can run a little bit. He had 4 rushes, almost 30 yards last week, so he could always sneak in for that touchdown for a quarterback in the rushing category. So Mitchell Trubisky, 5,500, great spot. You got a great run back if you want to stack that game for a GPP or MME type entry with Minnesota and their receivers and or running back or tight end. So it's a great game. I like Mitchell, 5,500. He's going to pay off. He's going to 3X. No questions about it in my mind. All right, moving on up to our middle-tiered quarterback, and he is the oldest quarterback, Tom Brady, Mr. Ageless. So we obviously know he has so many weapons. Antonio, Godwin, Evans, Gronk, Scotty Miller's catching bombs from him. So he'll throw to anybody. You have Ronald Jones, who's looking like he's not going to play, had the finger and then got on the COVID list. And they're just not going to run a ton of pure runs with Leonard Fournette. He was a healthy scratch last week. Bruce Arians saying he might start this week. So, that tends to show you how much faith they have in him as a pure runner. He's more of a pass-catching back anyway. And I just foresee Tampa Bay throwing it 50 times. With that kind of weaponry, I predict a very good game for Tom Brady, especially going up against Atlanta, 30th in pass yards allowed in the league, and it'd probably be worse had they not played New Orleans Saints and Taysom Hill 2 of the last 3 weeks. Taysom's not known for his arm. He still almost threw for 300 yards against them. Then they had that anomaly game where they completely killed the Raiders, but you can just toss that one out. Tom Brady's going to sit back there, and he's just going to pick them apart. Antonio Brown, Godwin, Evans looking like they're getting fully healthy because they've all been banged up throughout the season. So Tom Brady, 30th facing the 30th ranked pass defense, is going to eat, especially with no Ronald Jones. Fire him up, Tom Brady, 6,500 on DK, or 6,600, sorry. Patrick Mahomes is coming in as our top quarterback, and he's the top on the slate as far as price, 7,900 on DK, 8,900 on FanDuel. We saw last week he had some mischaracteristic turnovers, but he still came back and shredded Miami. He threw for 400 yards almost, had 3 touchdowns, and that's just the kind of player he is. You can never count him out, right? He had the 30-yard sack. He had the 2 interceptions early, and you just knew he was going to bounce back, and they ended up blowing him out. Obviously threw for a ton of yards and touchdowns. The talent level there is unbelievable. You have Kelce leading the league in receiving yards as a tight end. You know, Tyreek's 3rd, I believe, in receiving yards. They have a ton of touchdowns, and that's not including Sammy Watkins, who could bust one at any minute, or Demarcus Robinson. And the Saints defense, their strength is in their front 7. They're very good against the run. The Chiefs don't run the ball a ton anyway, and so they will likely run it even less against that stout front. Now, New Orleans, where does their weakness lie? It's in their secondary. It's kind of covered up by the fact that the Saints are very good at rushing the passer, but they haven't faced a talent like Mahomes this year. They haven't faced an Aaron Rodgers or Russell Wilson who have that mobility to get out of the pocket, break down plays, and hurt you over the top. So kind of skewed. PFF has Tyreek as a huge advantage over the Saints secondary. Kelce's obviously always an advantage, and then even DeMarcus and Watkins have plus matchups. They're not going to run it down their throat. They're gonna line them up through the air. You know, Tyreek is a prime candidate, you know, to break the lid off. And then you got Kelce, who's just going to chunk yardage all game long. So Patrick Mahomes in a great spot. He went down a little bit in price, and he's going to bounce back. It's a prime game. You know, they're playing a top-end team. And so I think Mahomes is going to come out, rebound, and just annihilate the Saints. Like I said, their secondary hasn't been pressed by the likes of the Chiefs' talent and or quarterback play. So look for them to get absolutely shredded on the defensive side of the ball. They're going to have to get sacks on Mahomes, but even so, it's not going to matter. There's going to be enough broken plays where he's going to more than pay off. He's a very safe quarterback, has the highest floor on the slate, and probably only the second as far as ceiling to Lamar Jackson this week. So love Mahomes. You can play him in any type of format, fire him up, and you're good to go. All right, guys, that was our DFS Dads picks of the week for quarterback. Remember to check us out, dfsdads.com, and come join our family. We're going to make money. We're going to have fun.